Hi everyone! I hope you can see me. My name's Lisa Frederick. I'm one of the composers here with Composers Community, and today is my turn for Teaching Tip Thursday. So bear with me, it's my first time using Facebook Live, and I hope somebody's out there watching, and if not, I hope you can see me watch the replay after the fact. Now, before I get into my teaching tip, I wanted to take a moment to tell you a little bit about myself. I live in southern Saskatchewan in the heart of the Canadian prairies, and I teach out of my home in the community that I live in, but I also have a studio in a nearby city, so that keeps me quite busy. As a kid, I grew up with the Royal Conservatory examination program, and I achieved my grade 10 as a young teenager. And then after high school, I attended a 2-year music college in Saskatchewan, but the emphasis was not on classical music. It was on developing as a church musician. And so we focused on things like recording and engineering, arranging for church band, conducting, songwriting, areas of music that I had never explored before. And I found that very exciting and I loved it. But shortly after college, my music took a back seat for a while. And I got married and I started a family and I was busy with kids. And so even though I always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to return to my piano studies and go after my ARCT in piano performance, it was never the right time. And there was always something else that was more important in that moment. But in June of 2012, that changed a little bit. My grandmother passed away and left me a little bit of money, and she and I were very close. And she, as a kid, when I was a kid competing at music festivals or provincials, she was always there. She would volunteer at the music festivals, and if she wasn't volunteering, she was sitting in the audience. And so when she left me that little bit of money, my husband and I decided it was time, and we would use this money for me to focus on piano again and go after my ARCT in piano performance. So in October of 2012, I started taking lessons with my daughter's teacher, with the goal of doing my ARCT within the next few years. And I worked and I practiced a few hours every day, and less than a year later, in June of 2013, I successfully achieved my AR in piano performance. Hi Hannah, this is really cool that I can see that there are people watching. And so I got my ARCT in piano performance, and that same month, I was selected as a recipient of the Helen Davidson Music Award. And as part of the award presentation, the recipients are asked to give a recital. Yes, I am on the go. I'm sitting outside my daughter's viola lesson as we speak, but I wanted to pop in quickly and do this. Okay, so Helen Davidson Music Award, I'm asked to give a recital. When the awards committee selected the recital date, they had no idea that it was a very important date to me. And so the day after I wrote my ARCT exam, I was on the stage presenting my recital to a packed house and sharing all of the music that I had worked on for a year, and all the music that my grandmother had inspired me to work on. And it was her birthday. So it was a perfect moment. And even though my performance wasn't perfect, the moment was perfect and really special to me, and one that I will treasure forever. Okay, so that's a little bit of my musical background, but I didn't start composing until November of 2014, so less than 2 years ago. And one night, after a particularly tough day, I just sat at the piano and wanted something peaceful to play. But I didn't even want to dig out any music, so I just started improvising. And that improvising turned into what has now been released as Daydreams. And composing just kind of took off from there. My teacher encouraged me to write for my girls, so I wrote pieces for my girls to play. And then she encouraged me to start writing for my students. So I started writing for my students. And I quickly learned that my students enjoyed playing what I was writing, but I also discovered that I love writing music, and it's very quickly become a passion. And so in November of 2015, I became part of Composers Community, and I haven't slowed down. I've been writing. I feel like I have so much music in me that is trying to come out, and I just can't get it on paper fast enough. And so I'm just honored and thrilled to be part of Composers Community and to be able to work with Jennifer and her team at Piano Pronto headquarters, and it's this very surreal dream come true. Okay, so Jennifer says, I never slow down. I don't often slow down. I have a little bit of tunnel vision when it comes to writing, and I affectionately refer to it as swirling brain syndrome. Lots of my ideas come to me at 3 a.m. and then I hash them out during the day. Okay, teaching tip Thursday. So I've uploaded a PDF to the file section, and it kind of looks like this. If you can see, I'm in my vehicle, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Star Search, which is the second book in my Getaway series, but it's actually the easier of the two books. And if you're not familiar with the Getaway series, it's unique in that it has a choose your own adventure style to it. So the students get a say in how their musical journey unfolds. And I'm finding that students love it. They're buying into the storyline, and they love that they play a role in how this story unfolds. And so Star Search is geared towards beginner, late beginner students. It's perfect for those late prelude movement 1 students. And in Star Search, the students get to choose if they want to become a sports superstar or if they want to take a journey to spectacular outer space. And so on this PDF, I've kind of outlined how the journey would unfold depending on which adventure the student wanted to take first, and a few little things about each piece. And so I just thought I'd quickly go through it with you live from my vehicle outside of my daughter's viola lesson. Okay, so the first piece that any student doing Star Search would do is song number 1, and it's called Star Search, and it is in C major. It's great for working on staccato versus legato. There are a lot of dynamic changes, which every piece in Star Search has a lot of dynamic changes. And this song in particular has a right-hand melody with some simple left-hand chords. So it's very similar to what a late prelude movement 1 student would be working on and would be used to. Okay, then once they've mastered Star Search, they have a decision to make. Do they want to take a journey to spectacular outer space, or do they want to become a sports superstar? So if they decided they want to become a sports superstar, they would go to song number 6. And at the end of song number 1 of Star Search, it very clearly tells the student and tells the teacher, if you want to go to become a sports superstar, you go to song 6. If you want to go to spectacular outer space, you choose song 8. So it's easy to follow, easy to use, open and go. So say they chose song number 6, Opening Ceremonies. Opening Ceremonies is in G major, but there's no key signature. Both the right hand and the left hand have a turn with the melody line. And it is also great for working on staccato versus legato. Once they've mastered Opening Ceremonies, they're directed to go to song number 3, which is Out of Bounds, which is about tennis. And Out of Bounds has ended up being one of my favorite pieces from this book. And I think it's because of the play on words. So Out of Bounds is in C position, but the student has to stretch to the A above the G or stretch to that B below the C. So kind of stretching out of bounds, either direction. And I had a lot of fun with that. And there are a lot of staccato notes. There are some slurs in there as well. So a lot of fun stuff for the student to work on. Once they've finished Out of Bounds, they have another decision to make. They are told that they have to earn 3 gold medals by completing songs 4, 7, and 10, but they get to choose whatever order they want to do these pieces in. So if they chose song number 4 first, it's Bases Loaded. It's about baseball. And it is a waltz in F major where the left hand has the melody and the right hand has some simple staccato chords. And so the melody line features hints of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So it has a little bit of familiarity without being exactly Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And it is also one of my favorite pieces. And I think it's one of the most challenging pieces in this book, but it is useful and it serves a purpose and it is well loved. So that would be song 4. Song 7 is Hoop There It Is. It's about basketball. It's in D minor and it's very rhythmic. It has staccatos, it has slurs, and both the left hand and right hand get a turn at the melody line. Song number 10 is Face Off, and it's about hockey. As a Canadian, I could not write a sports book without including a hockey song. And so Face Off is in C major, but it has accidentals. It's actually in C position with accidentals, and it features hands crossing over, it features accents, it has what sounds like crashing into the boards, and it's just a lot of fun to play. Yes, of course, a dedicated Canadian I am. I have my Tim Hortons in my car with me at the moment as well. Okay, so now once the student has earned their 3 gold medals, they are directed to go to song number 12, which is Mission Accomplished. And it's in G major, it's very celebratory, it features hints of musette in D. And so then that would be the end of kind of that side of the adventure. Now, if they chose Sports Superstar first, I would encourage teachers to have them go back and complete the other adventure, which is Spectacular Out of Space. And that would be, they would, from song number 1, they would go to song number 8, which is called Destination Unknown. Destination Unknown is in C position with accidentals, and it features tons of 2-note slurs. And then from there, the student is directed to go to Warp Speed, which is, as the title kind of hints at, it's meant to be played as fast as possible. So students love this one. It's in A minor, 5-finger position, and they are encouraged to just go. Then from Warp Speed, the student has another decision to make. They are given the challenge of earning 3 astronaut badges by completing songs 2, 9, and 11, but they get to determine what order they do these songs in. So song number 2 is called Zero Gravity. It's in D major. The right hand has a pattern that repeats throughout the song, and the left hand has kind of different crossovers. It's very flowing, it's very sparkly, the pedal is held down throughout, and so it gives a different feel than a lot of the rest of the pieces in this book. Song number 9 is called Spacewalkin', and it's in D minor with no key signature, and the left hand has this sneaky staccato pattern that kind of comes throughout, so it's also a lot of fun. And then song number 11 is Chasing Comets. And Chasing Comets is in C position, but it has octave shifts. And the right hand plays a 4-note pattern, and then the left hand echoes it. So both hands get a turn at playing the melody. From there, once the student has earned their 3 astronaut badges, they would go to song number 12, Mission Accomplished, which we discussed earlier, is in G major, it's celebratory, it has hints of musette in D, and is kind of the final hurrah. So that's a quick overview of Star Search. I am finding that my students just love that they get the say, and I think that you can be creative with how you use it. I know when the first Getaway book was released, a teacher mentioned doing a Getaway recital, and I think it could work for Star Search as well. If you had enough students at a similar level, you could have each student learn 1 or 2 pieces from the book, and then the audience could play a role in how the recital unfolds. It could be this choose your own adventure style recital that I think the students would be fully engaged in, and the audience would also be fully engaged in, and I think that could be a lot of fun. So here again is the PDF. Check it out in the file section. I hope you found this helpful. And I enjoyed spending a few minutes with you and telling you a bit about who I am and sharing a bit about my book. So I guess I will sign off and hope you all have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.